It's Don and Mike here on LinkTank. It's Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern in New York. Don, what time is it in Denver?
It's 12 p.m. in Denver, so everything is cool as far as time goes, and we're going to make the best use of time today. We appreciate everybody who tuned in today, and we're going to cover something that's really important. And I don't know if everybody is fully aware, but the multiple ways you can post, be seen, and communicate on LinkedIn, and how they all work together if they're blended properly. And Mike's
Blend. It's like it's like a smoothie, Don. In the morning, Joshua, my little guy, he's a little more than 4, and he won't eat anything that's green. So my wife is the master at smoothies because she's dumping everything green in there, but it's blended up with this vitamin chocolate thing. He thinks it's a chocolate, it's a chocolate shake, but it's the blend. That's what we're talking about today, right?
Well, sure, and blend. I mean, if an easier example is like you say, cooking, right? What makes for a good cook? Well, the ingredients, how they proportion it, and how they prepare it. And I think what me and Mike are doing, and it's hopefully obviously on LinkTank, it's you have two things you offer on LinkedIn. It's your message and your distribution of your message, right? You choose what you say and you choose who hears it by how you post, where you post, and what your goal is in posting, right? If you've got just like a meal, you got to figure out your ingredients, you got to figure out how to do it, and you got to figure out how to serve it so that it's even better, right? LinkedIn gives you that, let's say, opportunity to create a recipe. And Mike and myself exponentially are starting to learn this LinkedIn puzzle, and the pieces are starting to come together. And what we're sure of is message without exposure is nothing. It's an echo in a nowhere canyon, right? And distribution.
You say it in a nice way. I say if a bear shits in the woods, does anyone even know?
Well, the main thing is it says the same thing. And the point is that's all you got to focus on is what's your message, who do you want to hear it, and the essence is relevancy. Getting 100,000 views and 50 comments is not as good as getting 2 of your most ideal prospects to show up out of 2 because it filtered for you. You want the pearl, you don't want the shell. And if someone will give you the pearl without having to dig and do all that stuff, why not? Because that's another thing. We know reasons how you can succeed, but we also see plenty of reasons why people fail. And most of the time is poor best practices, poor preparation, poor execution. And anyways, our program today is to really kind of lay out the different methods that you can post and be seen. Mike is an expert at this. He spends a lot of time on online education. He's got a fabulous, I would say, one of the best groups on LinkedIn as far as a collaboration group. I've been part of it for 8 months. The quality of the people attracts the quality of the people coming in, and that's the beauty of it. So, Mike, why don't you give some insight into different ways to post and really be seen?
Yeah, so I'll go over just sort of a hierarchy of the opportunities. From you mentioned, one of the keys is great content. You have to be able to connect with your ideal customer, but most important is you got to get visibility. So the the key to what we do, and so we're like data hounds, right? We've produced and helped our clients get over 250 million views right now. That's an extraordinary number. And so we see every post from every client and we have all the data. And, that's interesting. Let me just shut the door over here because, you see people on LinkedIn and, they look like the authorities and they're just regurgitating information that's, they read from somebody else that's 2 years old, like hashtags. There's so much crap going around about hashtags. Well, who can make a claim about how many hashtags to use? Well, LinkedIn, because it's their software. But who else has the authority to do that? It's only the person that's been doing the experiments that has the data that can then look at the experiments and the data and make a conclusion based on the data.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not doing the experiments because you're not in the business of running LinkedIn. If you're only running your own LinkedIn, like you have no sample size. Like that's like trying to get a pharmaceutical drug approved, and you say, oh, we tested it on one person, and it was 100% efficacy. That's like ridiculous. So if it's one person on LinkedIn that's a guru and they're only running their own LinkedIn, they have no efficacy because they don't have a pool sample size that's big enough to know anything. Maybe it's just an accident. We've seen anomalies all the time. From like week to week, things change.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a crucial part of what we bring to the table, and why we're so passionate about what we do. Because Don hasn't missed a post in a couple of years. He's just he eats data. So when we look at what we're looking to accomplish, which is get our message out to the right people, and then be able to build know, like, and trust, and then indoctrinate them on our philosophy or our software, or basically what the outcome we can, help people attain is. You only have so many options on LinkedIn to distribute your content. I'm going to go over the hierarchy. So I don't know why LinkedIn came out with LinkedIn Live, a couple of years ago. LinkedIn Live from the bottom with the least amount of distribution is LinkedIn Live. The next one up is LinkedIn Video from distribution standpoint. And I'll give you like the numbers from me because I know my numbers. I've got roughly 13,000 people. I've been doing this for 3 years now. I've got an SSI score of somewhere in the low 80s. It varies. So that's kind of like my data points. If I'm doing LinkedIn Live, I'll end up with between 200, well, virtually no one on LinkedIn Live. If I were, even with what we're doing now on LinkedIn Live, we get very few people live, although it broadcasts it out and lets people know. But on the replay, I'll get between 200 and 500 is a good number on a replay. And Don and I we're this could be changing because we're data hounds and we started 3 months ago. And we started each with 100 on our replays, and then it was 200, and now we're like at 400 each. And we're doing it twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays with the LinkTank show. So things might be changing, but from a data standpoint, in terms of visibility, I get between 200 or 500 is good. If I do a LinkedIn video and I do the video and I record it on my phone, and then I upload it through my phone, I get terrible distribution. For some reason, LinkedIn doesn't like, maybe it's just too easy to whip it up on your phone. Maybe they're trying to differentiate themselves from like TikTok and Instagram, where everyone's doing all that stuff on the phone. So if I do the same exact video on the phone and put it up, or I do it on my desktop, record it and put it up, I will end up getting horrible results with my phone video. Like the live, 200. If I ever get to 500, it's like, oh my God. Now, if I do a video that I recorded on my desktop or laptop and then I upload it into LinkedIn, then if I tell everybody, no matter how big they are, if you're going to get 500 people watching your video, it can be more. 500 is magnificent because if you think about it, if you're using the right words, attracting the right people, your ideal customer is building and building, they get to know, like, and trust you, and then you are doing 2 of those a week, that's 1,000 people a week that are seeing you. Like just like this, like everyone is seeing Don and I. They're getting to know, like, and trust us. Now, a lot of people won't like us, and that's fine because there's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people on LinkedIn who are our ideal customer. So sometimes we get 1,000 or 2,000 views in a video. I don't know what happened. I got 12,000 views on one of the last videos this week, which was extraordinary. Some of our clients had some anomalies, but that's the range for video. You want to talk about anything about that down
Yeah,
the video?
one thing I think that you people have to appreciate is when Mike is getting 500 people a video from what we're doing when you translate the future viewers who weren't going to see it live. I'm getting 500 a video. So Mike's getting 1,000 a week. I'm getting 1,000 a week, but the 1,000 I'm getting, Mike's getting two from my people, right? So if we both get 1,000, it's actually 2,000 collectively that we're both being seen. That's 100,000 people a year. And let's hope that a lot of people are return people, right? That are getting into the series and getting into us. And more of that is stable. And then new people come in. But here's the beauty of LinkedIn. There's 810 million people. Like me and Mick have mentioned in the past, hardly anybody's in the game, right? We got a guy in our collaboration group that's a bodybuilder. In a couple of weeks, he's going to go for a bodybuilding tournament. You know what happens if he shows up and there's only one other person? He can't come in worse than second, right? You know? So in one way, you're competing.
We got to tell them that, Don.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You don't know your position until you see how many players are on the field. So in two ways, you're competing with what your core business is, right? If you're a chiropractor, you're looking for chiropractor stuff. But another way, you're competing within the platform in the media, right? If there's 10 million players who play at the post level and there's 500 players who play at the LinkedIn live level, right? Wouldn't you rather be playing with the top one of 500 who, when LinkedIn Live gets bigger, and LinkedIn always is positioning incentives for people to do what they want them to do, right? By giving them more traffic. So if they decide to bless LinkedIn Live and said anybody doing this now is going to get exponential reach, but more importantly, if you get 1,000 people a week, how many of those people tell friends? Because that's using the best of LinkedIn is the networking, right? If on today's show, if we have 100 people and they told 10 people each, the next show we'd have 1,000 and no competition for it. So, the key to this show is to share what we're learning every day. We're in the lab every day doing experiments, right? We're going into the outer reaches of the LinkedIn and the lower depths and still doing the basic blocking and tackling. But we're getting that real-time data and we're sharing it in a digestible way. And what we can't forget is we've now created our membership group that people can join. And part of that, and there's details, and that's why you should go to the link, the URL. We're giving away an hour a week of me and Mike every week working collaboratively with people in the group. And Mike is providing an unbelievable value of trainings and proven strategies that people can access, and get real value from. And it's $47 a month. So I just wanted to throw that in because, if you're excited by what we're saying, you could be even more excited about what we could be doing together, right? Listening and hearing and talking is just wonderful to get to know each other. But, if you're into LinkedIn and you say to yourself, and that's what I'm sharing this week, is who are the 5 people you spend the most time on LinkedIn with? Well, those are the 5 people who are going to influence you the most. Right here, you got 2 people you could plop right into the 5, move 2 of some of the deadbeats out, and now you got an engine, right? And it's so simple. And if you don't like it, we're glad to give you your money back. So no risk, right? Just time, just commitment. So to posting and visibility, getting back to it, we always hope to give you a takeaway, from what we're doing, that you can leave this program, apply it, and get some tangible results that you can feel, have a little bit more confidence in the LinkedIn opportunity, maybe a little more confidence in us, maybe want to get going with us. And so what would you say would be the number one takeaway that someone could use today?
Well, yeah, I want to finish rounding out the post types.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because we covered the video. So, just to rehash, LinkedIn Live is, a couple hundred to 500 is really good. a video on your phone, same kind of number, a couple hundred to 500 is good. A video that's direct on the computer, 500 is great, and you can get more, because it's an open upside. And then we move from video, we move actually to a text-based post. So a text-based post with no image, should get, maybe 300 or 400 to 1,000 views. And I view any text-based post over 1,000 to be great. Like, so we're doing that 3 times a week, actually. So like that's 3,000 views each week. That's 12,000 people seeing me each month. But like Don said, it's a crazy number. Now we're averaging, well over 1 million views per our clients every year. I mean, most of our clients are getting multiple millions of views every year. So that's what you really want to do. As Gary Vaynerchuk, it's a long game. When you do a text-based post and you put a good image in, then you can bump it up by another 500 to 1,000 views, and then we start to enter into like some magic. Because if you do a text-based post with a PDF, then you put yourself into a different category, because you can upload the PDF, still do your text-based post, and then you can get thousands to 10,000, even 20,000 is not out of the question. And that's really quite powerful, because if strategically you create a good PDF and you have thousands of people that can see it and also even download it or request it in the comments, then you're able to even distribute, it's like you have an evergreen system working, because, if someone requests your PDF or they download your PDF, you don't know who they are giving it to. So now you have this, invisible flow that's created, which starts all from, knowing your customer, your messaging, and providing great content. And then the other one that Don is a master at is basically the survey. So we like to do, the survey, and then keep it simple, and then that gets about the same view as a text-based post with the PDF. Thousands to 10,000, some of them 20,000. And Don's an expert in the survey. Maybe we'll just do a show on surveys. We won't go into the strategy behind it, but that's very powerful, because people are reacting to the question. If you do it right, they open up themselves for you. Then they are inviting you to contact them. So those are, the ascension of distribution. And then finally, I'll just say there's something to be said about all those different methodologies, because when you look at LinkedIn Live, and you get to spend more time, and you get to, in an environment like this, you get to know Donna and I. So know, like, and trust is huge, and you get to really understand our philosophy, and you decide whether we know our stuff or not. And we'll spend right now 20 minutes with you. That's an open format for people to really get to know and trust you, and that's what it's about. When you do your LinkedIn videos, your teaching videos, that's a place for you to teach and for you to shine, and really, break down, one point, what's happening, how does it affect you, and here's what you do to fix that. So people are learning from you. So that's, I think, a core part of the video process is the live. It's more inviting and it's more personable. The LinkedIn video, thought leadership, teach, get people to like and trust you. And then the other posts, even though they get more distribution, there's no way you can compare the effectiveness of a text post to a video over the long term in terms of winning business. And I put this bet out there a lot, and I love HubSpot. HubSpot reinvented inbound. They have an inbound event in Boston that gets like 100,000 people or more. And their magic is write 3,000 word, really strong blogs, teaching blogs. But I'll put 30 of their teaching blogs against, 5 or 10 of my 2-minute videos. And then if you did a side-by-side survey, and then after someone read 30 blogs or watched 5 of my videos, and you said, okay, who do you know, like, and trust better? a writer of a blog that says, Mike at the bottom, or someone that they spent, 10 or 15 minutes with in these little segments. There's no comparison. So why then will we not just default to video? Because it's the blend. Going back to the blend. So we're strategic, right? We want to be posting, and we want some of our posts to have bigger impact. They're going to get less distribution up that food chain. Some of them are going to have great distribution, but less of an impact. But it's the blend that is what makes, and the consistency and the blend that makes everything successful. So that's the smoothie in the Vitamix blender. Very, very tight. Can't have any chunks in there. My little one goes crazy if he does anything in there. But that's it, Don. I think the takeaway from today is understanding the different types of content. And then if you're not doing any one of them or most of them, do one. Right? We always say don't get stuck in the overwhelm. Add one. If you're doing one type, add another. We just gave you 5 types.
Well, I think the beauty of what you said, and you really, really tied it together well between the blend and everything else, is all of these different methods of posting are actually independent of each other, right? It's an either and strategy, and it's an either for strategy. So in other words, there's other elements as you get deeper into the LinkedIn puzzle, like LinkedIn Live takes no preparation, right? So you just go live and in 15, 20 minutes, it's done. If you're preparing a video, right, you're perfecting it, you're clean, because it's a teaching video. It's something that you want to stay evergreen. You don't want to be a bunch of stuff. What we're doing today is, hey, when you hear it, I hear it too for the first time. So there's nothing prepared for this. The point is it works because a certain population likes that format of LinkedIn Live. The video, the teaching video, works because there's a population that's attracted to that. There's people who take polls that don't comment. That's a population. There's people who only read texts, right? So why not fish in 6 different ponds if you have access? But here's the beauty, is when you get it going, then you start blending, right? I mean, first you got to prepare the ingredients, and each one's its own ingredient. Then you say, hey, how do we formulate this so that we taste the best, but we show the best? And, eventually, if you see somebody on radio, TV, internet, broadcast, you're going to think, hell, they're everywhere, so they must be something. Just the positioning. I don't know how many people listen to what we say, but, there's a lot of people that want to be talked to, want to be talked with, want to be included. There is such a vacuum of lack of humanity online. And one thing about LinkedIn Live, it's live. We're breathing right now in front of you. You're listening, right? You can participate. So I think what Mike says, because a lot of people, and that's a challenge. They see a shiny object, they get into video, and they drop everything. And then they drop that and do this. And pretty soon they're going nowhere, but they're doing a lot of work. And the idea is not to keep doing it, but just to do it right and be consistent with it, because you can repurpose your content at a certain point. You can leverage new audiences through Sales Navigator or whatever, targeting. There's so much to this. And the nice thing is, me and Mike have already arrived on the other side. We're there, we're safe, we're starting to cultivate all this open-ended opportunity. And we want to bring people along because we can, because we don't want everybody to have to go through what we did, because not everybody can. It was a great ride. You learn all the time. You meet new people. And now that we're there, we say, why not bring 1 million people over? There's 800 million sitting on the sideline. Could we bring 1% over with a bridge of learning, with a bridge of here's even the perfect thing. Like Micah given advice today, all we're saying is do what we do every day. You'll get what we get every day if you do it the way we do it. and with the context. Right? This is not a strategy, a philosophy that will it work. Mike will show you his numbers. Mike will show you even better numbers from other people. And we haven't even talked, I don't want to get into it, but people are starting to close sales in the group that are following this.
Big sales.
Six
Big
figures.
numbers.
Yeah, 6 figures, right? And you ask yourself, how do I get in that game? How do I learn about it, right? And what we, the beauty of what we're teaching is we're getting 70 times the input on daily basis from the posts, from the videos. And as we get better, they get better. As they get better, the numbers get better, right? People are getting in at the beginning of the beginning. And I think we're so excited because it isn't our opportunity. It's LinkedIn's opportunity. They're making all the investment. We're just putting the open for business sign up, and here's the bridge and get over the other side. So anyways, great takeaway. I think Mike's point was post something today, post something more often. That's a great takeaway. And let the feedback guide you in your extended posting from there. Throw the ball out, see who kicks it back to you, and then start working with them. And the reciprocity, whatever you call it, is fundamental.
Yeah. All right. Well, another great LinkTank in the can. Thank you, everybody. If you enjoy watching us live or love the replays, share them with other folks because it's free and it's great content. It works, as Don said. Shoot us a question. We'll answer it. If you want to come on, let us know. And of course, you got the link that's right here. That is the outrageous initial offer for LinkTank, the program, which we, Don and I, spend 1 hour a week with you live as a group, plus so all of our documents and spreadsheets and cheat sheets and scripts and everything else that come in there as well. So it's Friday. So a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to wish everybody a great weekend. And please do yourself a favor. Use some of these tips. Challenge yourself to see a different aspect of LinkedIn. And ultimately, for things to change, you have to change. That's how things happen, right? So go out there, be the best you can. Next Tuesday, we're back again with more information. We'll be smarter in the next 4 days when we see you next. So tune in and enjoy. And bye for now.